morning, Reptilians. Welcome and welcome back to the channel. I'm Elle, and this is Elle's Reptiles. This week, we are doing a New Year's sort of video. I am about a week behind on my videos. This was supposed to be at the very beginning of this year, but it's fine. We are going to talk about changes that I want to make to my reptile care in 2025. Next week we'll do kind of a part 2 to this, which will be changes that I have already made since keeping reptiles. But for this week we're talking about changes that I want to make. One of the most important things for me for reptile keeping is just always getting better with my reptile care, and as time goes on, reptile care guidelines get better, so I also want to get better. These are just a couple of the things that I want to do this year. I'm sure there's a lot of other things that need to be done, but these are just the ones that I am thinking about as I make this video. Before we get started, this video is sponsored by our geckos, so make sure to stay until the end of the video to find out all about this awesome company. So without further ado, let's get started. So the first one is just getting better at ordering my food for the reptiles in bulk. I often preach, I guess, on this channel about ordering in bulk if you can. If you have more than one animal, how much better it is to order in bulk, just because ordering in bulk is going to save you so much money in the long run, and it's honestly just so much more convenient to get in bulk. That way you don't run into the situation that I run into all the time where I think that I have food and I don't. So we have to make emergency chain pet store runs just to get food for the animals. Sadly, the closest local pet store to me, like family-owned pet store that has really good prices, is about 45 minutes, 30-45 minutes away from me, and that's kind of a drive if you are about to feed your animals and you realize immediately at that moment that you don't have any of whatever kind of food. So I have to often make chain pet store runs to get bugs. Mostly it's always bugs. So this year I want to get better at inventorying the food that I have and knowing far in advance when I need to order more food. That way I can keep a good stock of things here and I'm not waiting until everything is snowed in and I don't have food, which was actually one of the winter tips that I said specifically not to do, and that is because something that happens. Next up is I want to learn to breed my own crickets. So I have said for a very long time how much I despise crickets, and I still do despise crickets, mostly because most of the crickets that you get from like chain pet stores aren't generally the cleanest. I mean, sometimes they are. It's not usually, I don't think it's the cricket breeder's fault. I think it's more of the conditions of the pet store. I don't know whose fault it is, but I want to learn to breed my own crickets. This is a big project for me. Probably not that big of a project, but for me it's really big because I have a hard time just keeping them alive at all, and the idea of just breeding them sounds like a stretch. But I would love to learn how to do that so that way I can have an abundance of crickets here that I know are clean and safe, because a lot of my animals really enjoy chasing crickets around and it's such good enrichment. Again, not a fan of crickets. I don't like them, but they like them, and so I want to get better at that for them. The next one along that same realm is I want to start breeding dubia roaches. I have a pretty basic understanding of how to breed my own dubia roaches. I've accidentally bred my own dubia roaches so many times, especially in the summertime when I just put my dubia roach container near my back door and the heat is enough and they breed. But I've never intentionally done it, and I would love to try to do that this year, just to have my own dubia roach colony that I am intentionally breeding in order to intentionally get more dubia roaches. This one to me sounds like it's going to be a lot more doable than the crickets. I will definitely take you guys on that journey if I do end up doing that. But yeah, that is something that I want to do, and I want to kind of start that pretty soon. It has to warm up here before I can do that, I think. I'm excited about it. This year, 2025 for me, is all about saving money, and so a lot of these tips are just things that, not tips, a lot of these goals are just basically goals for me to save money. So in that realm of saving money, I want to buy more fresh veggies. So obviously I feed my reptiles like Zaz fresh veggies, but a lot of times I'll buy the pre-cut big bags because I don't want to do the extra work, and those are usually a lot more expensive than the just bushels of vegetables. And I've personally found that the bushels of vegetables that you cut yourself last a lot longer, so not only is it cheaper, but it also lasts longer. I want to do that more, but that's just 100% on me. I tend to buy like frozen butternut squash bags and frozen veggies bags, like the organic veggies, which are fantastic to just have in case of emergency. When it's not an emergency and I don't need that, I do want to have more fresh veggies like butternut squash that I shred myself, so that way they're getting fresher veggies. I don't know. I've seen multiple different articles. Some say that frozen veggies are like flash frozen at their highest like taste and nutritional point. And then some things that say that they lose nutrition during that freezing process. I don't know which one it is, but I would like to give them more freshly shredded veggies in 2025. And maybe I can grow some more too. Some more veggies for them because I thoroughly enjoy doing that. It's fun. It's fun for me to grow veggies for the reptiles, so that might also be a part of this fresh veggies. And the last one is in the complete opposite realm of saving money, but it is a necessity. This year, 2025, I need to upgrade Morgan's tank. Morgan, you can't actually see. You can see the dome, but you can't. Morgan is my baby crested gecko, but she isn't quite so baby anymore, and it's about time. It's not quite time, but it is getting to that time to upgrade her. I want to get her into an 18 by 18 by 24 this year. I got her when she was a tiny little baby, and so she was in a 12 by 12 by 18. This year, I want to get her into an 18 by 18 by 24, and then in a year or so, we'll get her into an 18 by 18 by 36. Yeah, unless the standards have gone up by then, and then in which case we'll go bigger. But this year I do want to get her into that 18 by 18 by 24 enclosure, and I want to do it bioactive like I generally do for crested geckos, just because it is so much easier for me. Yeah, I think that's honestly the only big project that I have in terms of upgrading tanks this year. I think hers is the only one that I have left to upgrade at this second. But I mean, eventually the hognose might need a bigger tank, but right now he's good. Just a bonus goal for the channel for 2025. I think my goal in terms of like uploading or what we're doing with the channel, things like that, I think my goal is just to keep going when I can go. I'm at a point now where too many lights, staring at the computer too long gives me headaches. And it's not fun. I've been going to doctors. They've been trying to work it out. I gotta go to neurologist. Actually, by the time you see this video, I will already have gone to the neurologist. But trying to figure things out. They're probably gonna do some more scans. But this year, my goal in terms of videos for you guys is just to upload on Sundays when I can and to just keep going. I like doing this and I like making these things for you guys, and so hopefully I can continue. And if I can get back up to every single Sunday, that's gonna be fantastic. If not, then I'm not going anywhere. I'll still be here, but sometimes it might be a little longer between uploads, and that's okay. My goal is to be okay with that. This was a very short video. I've only been recording for 10 minutes. This means this video is only like 6 minutes long. That's okay. That's it. That is all that I have for this week's video. Hopefully it was enjoyable, even though it was probably super short. What are your goals for 2025? Do you have any reptile related goals for this year, for your animals? Let me know down below, because I might figure out something that I also need to do in those comments. So make sure to leave those, please. Another year here on Elle's Reptiles. We are sponsored by I Heart Geckos. Love them. They've been sponsoring us for such a long time, and I appreciate it so incredibly much. I Heart Geckos, awesome company. They make conversion kits for glass tanks. You may just like have them laying around, and you can just put a conversion kit in, you silicone it in place, make sure that silicone smell is gone, and then you have a front opening tank for your animal. I've seen people do such cool things with these. I've seen them remove the top glass panel to replace it with a mesh screen so they could put UVB lights on top. There are options. These things are cool, and they make getting a front opening tank very inexpensive. If you do happen to order one of these from iHeartGeckos.com, make sure to leave Elle's Reptiles in the How Did You Hear About Us box. That way they know that you guys are coming from here. Thank you so much to I Heart Geckos for sponsoring this video. As always, if you're already, please feel free to follow me on socials and like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications every single time I put out a video, which is a lot of Sundays, and occasionally I do shorts on Wednesdays. This week's Instagram shout out is here, and this week's shout out is here. Thanks so much for liking and following and subscribing and commenting and sharing and all that jazz. You are the bee's knees. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye. Test. All right. Let me zoom in a little. Oh yeah. Okay. Zoom out. What do you mean? Real close. Okay, that might work. Okay. I keep hearing a sound.